What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Season 2, Episode 5. So in this episode, Midnight is asked to investigate a batch of trigger that's being used at college mixers. So she goes undercover and she gets Pop to help her out. So they both go undercover as college students. Now, how Pop is able to pass this one, I don't know, because she's either like early high school or late middle school. And Koichi happens to be there with like the Mad Hatters. And so one of the girls named Rin, she gets drunk and she almost vomits. Koichi helps her out, and Rin gets a little, basically, get like she gets embarrassed and she starts blushing at Koichi. Pop gets jealous and then some other girl named Hina gets jealous. Now for different reasons. Pop is jealous because she's into Koichi. Hina's jealous because, well, she's probably, I based on how the dialogue is done, is it's been a while since I read the actual, it's a, like it's been a little while since I think I recall there being a chapter with this, and yeah, so yeah, I recall the chapter, and then basically, so Hina is, the way it's implied that Hina is into Ren. That is what seems to be implied. And Hina's jealous that Ren it gets a bunch of guys, is trying to handle a bunch of guys, but yeah, so anyway, so then Hina spikes a bunch of drinks with Trigger, and it causes a bunch of quirks to go out of control. Now Koichi is underage, so he doesn't drink alcohol. So everyone else gets the drinks that are spiked and cause people's quirks go around. Midnight puts everyone to sleep, and she has a talk with Hina about why she did what she did, and Hina explains, and Hina's knocked out, and so based on the evidence from that, it seems that the that version of Trigger does not create instant villains, so it's not as big of a dose. And but Tsukachi Racehead, they discuss it. They believe that the villain factory is trying to find candidates that they could abduct and turn into basically more powerful villains. Now and then, while this is going on in Hong Kong, um, so yeah, so basically a guy goes in trying to find some intel, beats up some thugs, and it's revealed that that is the pro hero Hyper Quad Fist, aka O'Clock, who lost his quirk. The guy confirms it, and it's revealed to be Knuckle Duster. So Knuckle Duster is O'Clock, and his quirk was lost. Now, how it gets lost, that will be revealed later on. That is something that will be revealed later on in the series. And so then Knuckle Duster returns, to visit his daughter Tamal. And so Soga and his group, they've been watching over Tamal. Soga apparently knows how to play guitar. Like, and he helps get Tamal get back into playing guitar or whatever. Parent Tamal wasn't that claimed to not be into it. She just was trying to piss off her father. And Knuckleduster says when he visits, says that he has some things he has to do first. So he meets with Tanuma. He meets with Tanuma and give him the intel he got. And Tanuma reveals that there's a scarred man who has O'Clock's quirk. Knuckleduster says that the only way to deal with that guy, is to kill him. But due to police protocol regarding shoot to kill, like basically with uh Knuckleduster says he might that basically people like that guy is why he exists. To and Tonema says he's gonna pretend he didn't hear that. And so Knuckleduster sees Koichi and Pop basically get chased by a villain on the street, and he and Koichi thinks he saw him but can't tell. And Knuckleduster like smiles at seeing Koichi and Pop still fighting crime. So it's obviously gonna hint at like obviously we still the Scarred Man is gonna be a major character, and so it's gonna be interesting. So I believe next episode we're gonna get some Eraserhead's backstory. You know, which that's kind of what would you so which this series is kind of where you do get some Eraserhead's backstory. You don't get a ton in the main show. You just get a little bit enough to understand like the character and like some of the stuff like you get okay, Kurogiri was basically created from Eraserhead's friend's corpse, and he Eraserhead and President Mike were all really good friends. 'Cause- yeah, we get that. So yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Interesting what's coming up. Like I thought it was a great episode. Looking forward to the next one. Going to Movie Season 5, Episode 5. So in this episode, basically Sugimo's group is trying to save Oserpa, and so some of the so Sophia and her group they arrive from Russia, and Sophia is captured by Surumi, and so there's a whole bit like so Oserpa and Sophia, they meet Surumi, and so you have a whole deal with Tsukishima and Koido, who's like their loyalty to Surumi's wavering, and Surumi explains that part of his motivation, he wants Japan to have control over over their area, where some of Surumi's like comrades from the Russo-Japanese War were buried. So a lot of his motivations involve like his dead comrades from the war. And then yeah, so that's definitely interesting. It's like okay, so yeah, I thought it was a interesting episode. I was like, okay, we're getting close to the end. Like I like how it's all big pursuit. Everyone's trying to get Asarpa. Like whoever has Asarpa probably will be able to get the treasure. Essentially what it is. Sophia's involved. And there is some backstory regarding Asarpa's father. Like that's revealed. And then so explain how her father basically wanted for to focus his efforts on the Hokkaido due to due to the Russians would be too difficult a threat. But he said that he would like for he would let the Ainu and the Karafudo Ainu to immigrate to Hokkaido, and then he would just make Hokkaido a Ainu nation. But he's accused of in the flat he was accused of basically just he had gotten married and had a kid in order to fit in amongst the Hokkaido Ainu. And he's accused of basically siding basically just being focused on a kid, not on the big picture or whatever. Now, let's be real, the Russians were a big threat. I mean, let's see. This is, I believe the czar the czars are still in power at this point in time. I believe this takes place when the czars are still in power, if I recall correctly. I mean, either way, the Russians are would still be a big threat. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Bolsheviks hadn't taken over yet. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good episode. Like basically all the stuff regarding Sarumi. Like we see some of his motivations. We learn some more about Asuka's father. So yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Primal, season 3, episode 4. So in this episode, so basically shortly after Spear's death, Mira and her village they hold ceremonial burial for Spear. And Faye and her offspring watch the ceremony from far away. They're sad about it. And you see months later, and basically, so Fane's offspring are playing with like this kid named Jabu, and Jabu imitates Spear, and Fane gets mad about that. But Mira calms Fane down and reveals that she is pregnant with Spear's child. So I guess Spear, as he was about to die, I mean, we knew from the flash forward, from like the flash forward epilogue in season 2, we knew that Mira had had a hybrid daughter with Spear. That was already known. So yeah. Now that night, a bunch of Entelodonts attack the village. Now Entelodonts, they are like a pig-like thing. So they're big. Like they basically they're big. Like we are talking like huge creatures. Like I mean they're not small. Like they are I mean it'd be like now I have a question. Why I'd be wondering is okay, do they taste like bacon? I mean since they're supposed to be pig like creatures. Yeah, so I'm interested. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. So now, Faye and her offspring they kill some of the Entelodons, but those creatures they escape with some villagers, including Jabu, as captives. So the village tries to decide what to do. Mira volunteers to hunt with some of her people and they form a rescue party. And Fang and her offspring use track the scents. So the Entelodons take their captives to I guess their little cave, whatever, for them to be eaten by an albino mother, a giant albino mother entelodont, for the other entelodonts to be fed the mother's milk. So Mira's group, they go in. Mira Faye's group, they're in the dungeon, and they find the corpse of their shaman and the skullhead ape men. And then the rituals performed around the staff. And so later in that night, Mira has a dream of her and her child being attacked by some enemies of the past, by like that Viking demon guy and Queen Ema soldiers, and then Spear appears to save her. Mira wakes up, and like the kid I think had died in the dream, but like so Mira wakes up with it just being a dream. So some Entelodonts attack them, and the group like does defeat some of them. They are basically start being overwhelmed by like due to like how they're being like due to how many Entelodonts there are. So once they get away, a few others are killed. And the Entelodonts, they they smell something and then they flee. And then the zombie spear reveals himself, and Mira's shocked, and Fane is not happy. So okay, so this reveals that season 3 takes place before the that flash forward in season 2. That's what it's revealing here. That's before the flash forward. Okay, because we didn't know based on how long it had been. So it seems like after Mira's group left, that's when the eight men attacked the village, and with a bunch of, I guess, people being away, some people, Entelodonts taking some villagers away, and others having left to hunt the Entelodonts. That affected the defenses of the village, allowing the eight men to basically destroy it. So yeah, so that it does make things interesting. He's like, okay, so what's gonna happen to Spear? Like, is he gonna have to be put to rest? Like, is part of the story gonna be like him remembering stuff? Because he was following the sound of Fane's roar. And so we'll see how this goes. So yeah, so I thought this was a really good episode. Interesting. Now, my biggest complaint is okay, Mira probably shouldn't be going out hunting if she's pregnant and very visibly so, just from a health reason. I mean, for her health, the baby's health, you know, I mean, just the fact. I mean, there are things that are very difficult to do and probably should not be done while pregnant. That is just a fact. I mean, just from a safe health point of view. Now, ironically, it did help Mira avoid getting killed by eight men. You know, based on how the episode ended. But yeah, overall, I thought it was that's just a great, but that's unfortunately that's just a common thing with Hollywood. It seems like they try to have pregnant women fight when they can't, when they're too far along. I mean, that's just a Hollywood thing. I don't know what the reasoning is. Like, I don't really understand it. Like, it makes no sense. Like, anyway, Anyway, I thought this was a good episode. Regardless of that gripe, overall, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Made in Korea. So this is a show that that's aired on Disney Plus and Hulu. Um, yeah. So did not even hear of this. Like, I'm like, what? Why didn't I hear about it? It's like it's a crime show. Takes place like around 70. So its first episode started December 24th, 2025. So when it released, basically it did in 2025 it did four episodes, so two episodes the 24th, two episodes the 30th, one episode 7th, another episode the 14th. So yeah, so 2/3 of it was in was in 2025. So yeah, I learned to learn. I was like, and then I saw there's season two coming later this year. I was like, oh okay, I'll watch it. So then I watch it. It's a crime show. So basically, so you have Kite, who's like a mobster. He's trying to expand meth operation, trying to make a deal with the yakuza in Japan, and different political figures. We have Gion Yeon, who's like a basically a patriotic South Korean, wants to take out the drug dealers because of what happened. It was stuff because I think it was like his father killed his mother while high on drugs, and his whole deal regarding Itae's sister, and like there's a lot of going like so there's like different things going. So you have the KCIA like investigating stuff, and so back and forth, different people exposed, different people arrested. Eventually, what happened? Gyeongyong is after he has some evidence, but basically the his superiors are not willing to use it. Basically, they choose Kite and some other higher ups. So Gyeongyong is framed for a crime and as like a big mastermind, and so he's removed as prosecutor and imprisoned. And Kite becomes KCIA Director General, and basically is able to expand his drug empire by a lot. And yeah, so basically then yeah, and then after that, so yep, and there's like a bit. So Kite like the last scene is Kite smoking a cigar all alone. Basically, he's gotten like everything he wanted, but he's all alone. And so there's a whole deal with so yeah. And there's also Gyeong so his Gyeongyong's sister Hyun, like there was a chance Kite would try to go after her to kick Gyeongyong off his back because Hyun could have been charged for like espionage and that she was at a club that possibly could be connected to North Korea or some communists inside of South Korea because there was an anti-communist act in South Korea at the time, and that you could get the death penalty for that. And yeah, so there's a lot back and forth with different people, and then yeah, so even when Gyeongyong was able to arrest Kite, it still wasn't. He still have enough to like have anything stick, so he ended up getting arrested instead. Yeah, so basically, yeah, so Yeon Young wonder as he's being led in handcuffs out the prosecutor, he wonders if what it was basically what was his patriotism for. And so yeah, we know season two is coming, so we'll see where or not what happen if Yeon Young is gonna be involved. Like, will he be able to take down Kite next season? Will someone else try to do it? Like, what will happen? So yeah, I thought it was a good season. Interesting season television. That was pretty good. Pretty good mop show. Looking forward to season two. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching. And like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.